administration. Everywhere you look, this administration reeks of weakness. See, what Joe Biden did is he surrounds himself with beta males. Biden's beta males. And they are a national security risk. They put the world in danger. Three of them in particular are absolutely awful. The first one is Jake Sullivan. He is the national security advisor. Remember, he worked back for Obama. He is dopey. He is weak. And just last week, to tell you and show you how out of touch he is, just days before the attack in Israel, this is what this weak beta male had to say.
What we said is we want to depressurize, de-escalate, and ultimately integrate the Middle East region. The war in Yemen is in its 19th month of truce. For now, the Iranian attacks against U.S. forces have stopped. Our presence in Iraq is stable. I emphasize for now because all of that can change. And the Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades.
Quieter today than it has been in 2 decades? I don't think so. It's about to be World War III. Thanks to weakness from the Biden administration. We know Hamas said they went into Israel because of the weakness in Afghanistan on the behalf of the Biden administration, the pullout, and Joe Biden's reaction to all of it. So we go from one Yale-educated wussbag to a Harvard-educated wussbag. This may be the king beta male of all of them, Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State. Roll that.
If you'll permit me, personal aside, I come before you not only as the United States Secretary of State, but also as a Jew. Prime Minister, I understand on a personal level the harrowing echoes that Hamas's massacres carry for Israeli Jews, indeed for Jews everywhere. Women raped, parents executed in front of their children, children in front of their parents. How are we even to understand this?
Does any of that show strength to you? Sure, I feel for what he's saying, but he's the Secretary of State. He's in the Middle East. Great job going there. You're up against terrorists. They want tough talk. They want resolve. They want determination. They want a fire in the eyes that they know that they're going to be up against a tough foe. That's the only thing these terrorists will react to. But we didn't get any of that from Secretary of State Blinken. In fact, what did he do next? He goes to meet with the Palestinian Authority, the president there, Mahmoud Abbas. Why would he do that? That alone shows weakness. And to me, it's a slap in the face to Israel that you would even go and meet there. Now you have, again, the Biden administration saying, hey, don't go into Israel. The third of the beta male Biden team, State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller.
The partners that you're engaging with to engage with Hamas, are they being productive? Is Hamas even acknowledging that they're holding Americans right now?
I'm not going to speak to the details of those conversations. We do believe that there are partners in the region who are playing a productive role here and want to help secure the release of hostages. But in terms of details of those efforts, I'm not going to talk about them publicly.
Publicly, and you don't know. Your boss, Joe Biden, said you were going to send consultants over there to advise. That's another one who's not a pillar of strength at a time when our enemies need to be put on notice. Now, there's another guy that is most certainly a beta male. He, too, goes all the way back to the Obama administration, like all of these clowns. He may be the worst because he's offered up some devastating situations with Iran, the United States, the nuclear deal. He was the chief architect of the nuclear deal under Barack Obama. He became a special envoy to Iran under Joe Biden. He was just relieved of his duties in June. His security clearance suspended for mishandling classified information. I'm talking about a gentleman by the name of Robert Malley. You can call him a gentleman. Mishandling classified documents, possibly with Iran. Now, remember, he was the chief negotiator on this nuclear deal, okay? He's the one that handed Iran victory after victory. He's the one that wants to resurrect the nuclear deal. He is the worst guy to be involved with this. because I'm going to play for you his views on Hamas. This is a flashback. Roll it.
Now, we may disagree with them, but they have their own rationality. That's one thing to understand. These are not, none of them are crazies. They may do things that we consider to belong to a different realm of rationality, but within their own system, it's often very logical. If Hamas is not allowed to govern, if we squeeze them, and you may have good reasons for doing that, but if you do that, we'll tell you what the reaction will be. Rockets.
None of them are crazies. They beheaded women and children. They murdered old ladies. They decimated families. None of them are crazies. They're logical. None of this is logical, an attack on the civilian population. He has engaged with Hamas. He sympathizes with Hamas. And he had another quote. He said, it's a mistake to think of them as terrorists only. This is the guy running negotiations between the United States and Iran. I can tell you, beta males are bad news. They're bad news not just for America. They're bad news for the world.